Hello guys, and welcome to another video. This video is going to be tips for those with social anxiety. Well, it's going to be one tip, and it's going to be the first of a couple or maybe two or three videos where I'm going to give this specified tips or specified situations, like action-based tips which I've done in the past, but these are going to be more conceptual tips, rather about the facts of life, as it were. So this is from somebody who has, if you've not, ever since starting this channel, I've been in a position where I've been at a point where I've managed much of my social anxiety, if not just straight overcome it. And I've always in this channel wanted to pass down information to help others. You're going to be hearing more about that in future videos. But here in this case, I'm going to just give a few tips so that those people who actually watch my video, who actually are seeking to overcome social anxiety, not wanting, but actually seeking to actively try to overcome the social anxiety, this would be very valuable to yourselves. So, first tip, the first of this whole video, you in the social anxiety community, so online social anxiety community, when I've given tips, if I've gone out to help somebody, what I've noticed is that some people really normally tell me that normally they would be antisocial. They would not seek to be social, but they want to be social so that they can achieve a connection with a particular person, right? A very particular person. So, not wanting to reveal stuff, but for example, somebody would say, normally I keep myself to myself, but there's a person at work who, I would really like to get a connection with that person in particular. Or they would also say, I'm in school and there's this girl that I like, who I would like to get a connection with. Or, there's a boy I would like to get a connection with. And normally it's the same. They normally say there's normally a hidden context of, normally I would be antisocial, but this person is someone who I see a chance with, and therefore I want to, I would like your help in achieving something with this particular person. Now, I'm going to tell you guys this time, and this is very important. The moment that you want, that your desire to progress with social anxiety revolves around a particular person, or even if your desire to conquer a particular aspect of your social anxiety is focused on achieving something with a particular person, that is very, very counterproductive. That could actually result in things backfiring tremendously. And the reason for that is when you concentrate on a particular person. I've said this before in other videos where there's guys out there who put their pressure on to get a girl, and therefore they will, if they're not successful, then they'll be self-critical, rather than the fact that they've actually tried to advance with a woman or whatever. So for myself, what I'm looking at is the advancement. I'm looking at, when I was trying to overcome social anxiety, I try my best not to focus on particular situations. I've said this before to some people. Every situation is practice for the next situation. Your potential friend that you see today is practice for the other potential friend you'll see tomorrow. The potential Mr. or Mrs. Right you see today is practice for the actual Mr. or Mrs. Right So what you should have, if you've got a concept of where you want to be social or you want to talk with somebody, then the person that you've seen today, the person that this is apparently the main focus of, your desire, that's the person who you should be seeking to practice with, perfectly happy with it not succeeding. You want to just, this is your practice, so this is your mock exam, as it were. If you make it your real exam, then what's going to happen is, you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself, and that's going to flare up your social anxieties more than anything. All right. The worst thing you can do is put pressure on the situation, on any social situation, because then half the time you'll back off. But what's worse is you'll think that this is the right time, so you're gonna push harder for this, and the power structure is going to be completely imbalanced. The other person is just, they're just looking at the whole thing from a casual perspective. They just see you another person, and all of a sudden you're going to come out with this pressure. They're going to be high pressure because they're going to suddenly feel that you are, they're going to feel your dependence on them. Your dependence on them. They're going to feel your need to make something out of this situation, and it is completely opposite of the scenario that you actually want, and that scenario is going to make you do negative things anyway. It's going to affect how you do those things. So even if you was to do the right thing, if you was to listen to somebody's advice or somebody's advice and actually do everything right, the pressure that you will have will be transparent, and it will scare them off. And rather than you thinking, oh, it's practice, because you've invested so much emotionally into it, it's going to hurt more than ever. So do not put pressure on one situation. And this is why throughout my channel, I always promote you practicing as much as possible over a long period of time. You don't do it once. You don't do something once or twice and then decide, that was good, that was bad. You do it over a prolonged period of time. I always advise that you expand your social circle and get social as much as possible. And this is why I personally have I've offered a service previously where I'd actually help people make friends generally, not just one friend or to achieve something with one friend. I could do that, but I know what's going to happen. If you're there focused on getting this particular girl, and if you, and I know because when I've spoken to people, I say, just do this, do that, and they say, oh no, she's not going to like that. Oh, he's not going to like that. I said, and it just cloud. I'm not going to say what I've actually said to individuals, but the point is, it just clouds your judgment, and you want to put everything around this one person where you should just be putting everything around yourself and self-improvement. You should think on the long term and about yourself in the long term. You in the long term are going to be there. This other person is going to be long gone probably. So guys, that's tip one. That's a conceptual tip, but if you've watched this video this far, you really need to think about that, because that could be the difference. Because you have to be, when it comes to socializing and improving socially, you have to be a kamikaze. You have to not care less. You have to just experiment and push yourself to the limit, because that's the only way you'll learn. If you hold back, then you're going to be in the same position that you was way before. And worse than that, you're going to be in the same position having learned nothing. So guys, that's my first tip, right? Do not base your success or base your desire for success on accomplishing something with one person. And that's for social anxiety or for romance or anything. Every person is practice for the next person. And that's the only way that you can go through these things. That's the only way I've been able to do these things and embarrass myself and laugh at it afterwards. You know, it's fun eventually, but you have to get the practice in, you have to get the work in. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll come up with more tips soon. Take care.